Hey guys, C2 here. This video is going to be a bit of a departure from what I normally do. Obviously this channel is about 99% Hearthstone, but I am an NBA fan and I was listening to a podcast from Bill Simmons talking with Charles Barkley the other day, and there was basically an argument that Bill Simmons brought up, or something that the NBA should do, which I found a couple of flaws in. So I decided to make this video rather than tweet about it, which would have been pointless. So here's the clip in question.
But there's an easy fix, right? Because these rookie year contracts, you come in, I think after like your third year, you can start talking about an extension, fourth year, whatever. I think they last 5 years total. But they could change it so that if you stay in college for 2 years, maybe you chop a year off that rookie contract. So either way, you're eligible for that second year contract at the same time. And I think that's an easy fix that would work, and for whatever reason, they won't do it.
So it sounds like a good idea, right? It allows the players to just stay in school longer and no harm, no foul. Basically, they get to go to their second contract faster. For the superstar players, or even players who eventually make it in the league, this ends up giving them more money faster and ends up being really good. But obviously, it's really bad for the team, right? Because these are basically player options. The team already has options. They're already allowed to cut the player whenever they want. You never hear about it because if they cut a player, that you're never hearing from that player again, so it's kind of off the casual fan's mind. And if they were good, then they're never gonna, cut them early so that they can pay them more money for no real reason, or maybe lose them. So for the team, it's obviously bad, right? Because if the player has an option to become a free agent quicker, then the team has to pay them quicker, which means that when teams make decisions about drafting, they're not going to want to pick players who become free agents faster. For one, they might as well just pick up that player as a free agent later, since if they become, for instance, say they're a senior or a junior or something, they become a free agent after 2 or 3 years or whatever. That team can just get that player as a free agent later and just draft someone else at that time, or they can just get a different free agent, right? Because at that point, they're paying the same money as they would for a free agent anyway. And the younger the player, the more valuable they are as a free agent, so they're going to get a lot of money. One thing I forgot to mention, basically, obviously, the most valuable contracts in the NBA are max contracts and rookie contracts, because you're getting, provided that the max contract player is a superstar, because you're getting more bang for your buck. You're basically underpaying the person in question. And so when the person becomes a free agent, even if they're just a rotation player, they're going to be making more money than if they were on a rookie contract. So it's really bad for the team for that to happen. And the reason why it's bad for the players as well is because obviously if the teams are avoiding upperclassmen because they don't want to pay them too quickly, then underclassmen are going to get picked improportionately or unproportionately, right? So the teams are going to say, why would I want to pick this guy? If he works out, it's bad because you have to pay him anyway. If he doesn't work out, it's obviously the same thing as if he doesn't work out now, he's just a bad player and we have to cut him. So the teams are going to pick underclassmen more, which means that punishes upperclassmen. So that means that upperclassmen are going to want to declare more as underclassmen, so you're going to see even more bubble first rounders as underclassmen declare, and it's going to actually exacerbate the problem, and more people can declare earlier. Now, if you have situations like Damian Lillard, who, say they get to their junior year and then they declare after that, and they're on a team, from that point on, it's actually bad for the team as well, because now the team has to basically appease the player and mortgage the long term for the short term, maybe trade away picks or something, because if the team isn't good enough, then the player might just leave, a la Greg Monroe from Detroit, except a couple of years earlier. And then so you get a lot of situations like, early 2000s Cleveland, or current version of the New Orleans Pelicans, where the team's trying to appease the player and they're mortgaging the future for the short term, and ends up not being a good situation. Obviously, the most ideal situation would be to grow the team like the Oklahoma City Thunder did, where you pair all of your best players and have them grow together. But that's obviously very, very risky in this situation if you have a player who's going to be deciding or basically going to be a free agent very, very soon. If you want to keep the player, then you can't really risk having a bunch of young players on the team because they could just leave. And if the player in question is someone who is going to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick, no matter when they declare, like right after the clip, Bill Simmons went on to talk about Brandon Ingram. But a player like that's going to go to the NBA anyway if they're worried about the money, because they're losing out on $5, $6, $7, $8 million on the rookie contract, depending where they're picked, just by the rookie contract alone. So if they're worried about their second contract coming up, they're basically losing on money anyway. So they're going to be incentivized to go to the NBA anyway in this situation. So Yeah, basically that's it. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense either. You're gonna have to see more players declare more often earlier, and it's just gonna exacerbate the problem as far as the players are concerned. And it doesn't really work out for anyone, unfortunately. And that's basically the reason why you wouldn't want to do that. So I know a lot of people who are watching this probably search Bill Simmons and don't really worry about Hearthstone. But in case you are a Hearthstone fan, please click follow. I appreciate it. See you guys later.